Respect. We chase it, crave it, even demand it. But what happens when it's withheld? What if I told you that the absence of respect is not a reflection of your worth, but a test of your character? The Stoics didn't just endure disrespect, they mastered it. Today we uncover 5 enduring lessons from Stoic philosophy that will change how you handle disrespect forever. Before we dive in, if you find value in building a stronger, more resilient mindset, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Together, we're creating a community of strength and wisdom. Disrespect. What is it about this one word, this one action, that can unravel even the strongest among us? Perhaps it's because disrespect feels personal, almost surgical. It's not just an affront to your ideas or actions, it's an attack on your very identity. And in those moments, we're left grappling with a primal urge to defend, retaliate, or retreat. Maybe it's the colleague in the office who casually dismisses your contributions in front of others, as though you're invisible. Or a family member whose words, even when veiled as jokes, sting with the sharpness of truth. Or the stranger whose cutting remark reminds you that respect in this world isn't always guaranteed. These moments have a way of consuming us, don't they? But what if I told you that these moments of disrespect, the ones that feel like fractures, are actually opportunities? Opportunities to rise above the noise, to reclaim your power, and to master the art of self-respect. This isn't just motivational talk. It's the heart of a philosophy that has endured for over 2 millennia. Stoicism. A philosophy that doesn't just help you survive the slings and arrows of life, but teaches you how to thrive amidst them. Stoicism is about rationality, self-control, and a deep understanding of what truly matters. It doesn't ask you to ignore disrespect. It asks you to transform it into strength. Let's take a moment to think about the world of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, ruled during one of the most tumultuous periods of history. He faced betrayal, public criticism, and the weight of an empire on his shoulders. Yet his personal writings, meditations, reveal a man who remained steadfast in his values, never letting the disrespect of others dictate his sense of worth. Or Epictetus, a former slave who taught that freedom is not about external circumstances, but about the mastery of one's inner world. These are not abstract figures. They are proof that Stoic principles work in the most challenging of conditions. Now you might be thinking, that's all well and good for an emperor or a philosopher, but what about me? The truth is, the principles they lived by are more relevant now than ever. In a world that thrives on judgment, comparison, and a constant need for validation, Stoicism offers a refuge, a way to step off the hamster wheel and find strength within. Which brings us to the heart of today's conversation. We're going to explore 5 ways, inspired by Stoicism, to handle people who don't respect you. These aren't theoretical concepts. They're actionable steps, grounded in ancient wisdom, but designed for modern challenges. As we dive into each of these, I want you to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever faced disrespect that left you questioning yourself? Or perhaps moments where you felt you handled it well? Share your stories in the comments, because this isn't just about listening, it's about growing together. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how to navigate disrespect, but how to emerge stronger, calmer, and more in control. So, let's step into the first method, mastering emotional discipline. Method 1. Often do you let someone's words or actions control your emotions? Think about that for a moment. Maybe it's a cutting remark from a friend, a dismissive gesture from a colleague, or an insult hurled at you by a stranger. How often does their disrespect dictate your mood, your response, or even your entire day? The Stoics had a name for this state of emotional captivity, pathos. They saw it as the irrational passions that cloud judgment and disrupt inner peace, but they also offered a solution: apatheia. Now don't mistake this for apathy. It's not about being emotionless, it's about emotional mastery, freedom from being ruled by irrational reactions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he's teaching us is simple yet profound. The power to stay calm in the face of disrespect lies entirely within us. The moment we hand that power to someone else, we've already lost. Let's break this down. Imagine you're in a meeting, and someone publicly undermines your ideas. Your initial reaction might be anger or defensiveness, but before you respond, pause. Ask yourself, 1. Is this worth my peace? 2. What do I gain by reacting emotionally? 3. What would a rational response look like? This pause isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the space where you reclaim control, where you choose to act with intention rather than impulse. Now I want you to think about your own life. What's the hardest situation you've faced where staying calm felt almost impossible? Was it a heated argument with a loved one? A moment of public humiliation? Share your story in the comments. Let's create a dialogue about how we can all improve. Let's make this actionable. Here are a few exercises to cultivate emotional discipline. The 10-second rule. The next time you feel disrespected, count to 10 before responding. This small act can shift your perspective and prevent rash decisions. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, write down moments where your emotions got the better of you. Reflect on what triggered you and how you could handle it differently. Visualization. Practice imagining disrespectful scenarios in your mind. Rehearse calm, rational responses, so when it happens in real life, you're prepared. The truth is, we're all going to encounter disrespect. It's a given in life. What isn't a given is how we choose to respond. Every moment of disrespect is a test, and with practice, you can pass that test with grace and composure. Here's something to consider. When someone disrespects you, who's truly in control? Them or you? Let that sit with you for a moment. Mastering emotional discipline is just the first step in reclaiming your power. But what happens when disrespect cuts deeper? When it makes you question your worth? That's where our next method comes in. Focusing on your inner values. Method 2. Focus on your inner values. What if I told you that their disrespect doesn't matter as long as you respect yourself? Let that sink in for a moment. How much of our energy is wasted trying to earn the approval of people who, in reality, have no bearing on our worth? Isn't it time we shifted that focus inward? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and one of history's most revered Stoic philosophers, believed in living according to your own virtue. He famously wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." To the Stoics, respect wasn't something you begged for or chased. It was something you embodied by living in alignment with your values. When your actions are rooted in integrity, the opinions of others become noise, not truth. But let's be honest, this is easier said than done, right? Because in our modern world, we're bombarded with opinions. Social media, workplace hierarchies, family expectations. It feels like everyone has a say in how we should live. But here's the thing, none of those opinions matter if they clash with your inner compass. The Stoics remind us that self-respect isn't negotiable. It's the foundation of all other respect. So how do we apply this principle in real life? It starts with identifying your core values. 1. What do you stand for? 2. What kind of person do you want to be? 3. Are your actions in line with those ideals? When you live according to your values, you create an internal shield against the disrespect of others. You stop being swayed by their opinions because you know who you are and what you stand for. Focusing on your inner values doesn't mean you allow others to walk all over you. It means setting boundaries, not out of anger or retaliation, but from a place of self-respect. For example, if someone constantly undermines you, calmly but firmly let them know their behavior is unacceptable. If a relationship feels one-sided or toxic, step back, not to punish them, but to honor your own well-being. Boundaries are an act of self-love. They remind others and yourself that you value your time, energy, and peace of mind. Here's a question to think about. Do you believe self-respect is enough to ignore others' opinions? Why or why not? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear your perspective. Is it enough to live in alignment with your values, or do external perceptions still play a role? Consider this scenario. You're working on a project you deeply care about, but someone criticizes it, not constructively, but with the intent to belittle. The natural reaction might be to feel hurt, even question your ability. But if your work is aligned with your values, if you know you've given it your best and it reflects your principles, their disrespect loses its power. Why? Because your validation doesn't come from them. It comes from within. So here's a thought. If you truly respect yourself, does it even matter if someone else doesn't? Can their opinion outweigh the quiet confidence of living authentically? Think about that. Focusing on your inner values is about building a fortress of self-worth that no one can penetrate. But what if we could go a step further? What if we could transform disrespect into something that makes us stronger? That's the idea behind our next method, viewing disrespect as a lesson. Method 3. View disrespect as a lesson. Could disrespect actually be your greatest teacher? Think about that for a moment. What if the sting of an insult or the pain of being overlooked wasn't just a wound to your pride, but a gateway to growth, a test of your strength, your patience, and your understanding of yourself? Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic philosopher, taught that external events are neutral. It's our interpretation that gives them power. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, disrespect itself is neither good nor bad. It's simply an event. The meaning you assign to it, and what you do with that meaning, is entirely up to you. This flips the script, doesn't it? We're so conditioned to see disrespect as an attack, as something that diminishes us. But what if we reframed it? What if we saw it as a mirror, a way to better understand our triggers, our insecurities, and our capacity for resilience? Here's how to use disrespect as a lesson. 1. Examine your reaction. When you feel disrespected, pause and ask yourself, why does this bother me? Is it touching a deeper insecurity? Does it challenge an assumption you have about yourself? 2. Separate the event from the emotion. Practice seeing the disrespect as an external event, like a passing storm. It's unpleasant, yes, but it's not permanent. 3. Extract the lesson. Consider what the moment is teaching you. Is it showing you where you need stronger boundaries, highlighting an area of personal growth, offering you a chance to practice patience or humility? Here's a question for you. Can you recall a time when disrespect made you stronger? Maybe it taught you to stand up for yourself, or perhaps it revealed a strength you didn't know you had. Share your experience in the comments. Let's inspire each other to see these moments not as setbacks, but as stepping stones. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine you're overlooked for a promotion at work, and the reason given feels disrespectful, perhaps even unjust. The immediate reaction might be anger or resentment. But if you step back, you might notice something valuable. Did this experience expose an area where you can grow professionally? Did it reveal that your values don't align with this organization, prompting you to seek better opportunities? Or did it give you a chance to practice grace under pressure, earning the silent respect of your colleagues? Disrespect in this way is like a forge. It burns, yes, but it also refines. Each moment of disrespect is an opportunity to choose. Will you let it diminish you, or will you let it strengthen you? Start viewing every act of disrespect as a challenge issued by life itself. Someone cuts you off in traffic? It's a lesson in patience. A friend betrays your trust? It's a lesson in discernment. A stranger insults you? It's a lesson in letting go of things beyond your control. Every insult, every slight, is an opportunity to practice being better, stronger, and more resilient. So here's a thought. If every moment of disrespect carries a lesson, does that make disrespect a gift in disguise? Something painful, yes, but ultimately transformative? What's your take? Once we start seeing disrespect as a teacher, the next step is deciding where to focus our energy. Why waste time on what you can't control when your energy could be used to build something greater? That's the essence of our next method. controlling what you can and letting go of the rest. Method 4. Control what you can, let go of the rest. Why waste your energy on things beyond your control? It sounds simple, but think about how much of your day, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions are influenced by things you have absolutely no power over. Why do we give so much of ourselves to what we cannot change? The Stoics were relentless in their focus on what they called the dichotomy of control. Epictetus summed it up perfectly. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. This single idea is the foundation of Stoic wisdom. What's within your control? Your thoughts, your actions, your choices. What's not? Everything else. Other people's opinions, their behavior, the circumstances you face. Here's the hard truth. We spend so much of our lives trying to control the uncontrollable. We try to change someone's opinion of us, fix their disrespect, or seek their approval. And in doing so, we hand them our peace, our focus, and our power. But what if instead we redirected that energy to what actually matters, our own growth, our own choices? So how do we apply the dichotomy of control to disrespect? It's about asking yourself two critical questions in the moment. 1. Is this within my control? 2. If not, what can I control instead? For example, someone insults you. You can't control their words, but you can control your response. You can control whether you let it ruin your day or dismiss it as irrelevant. By choosing to focus on your reaction rather than their action, you reclaim your power. Let's take this further. How much of your life is driven by a need for external validation? Social media likes, compliments, approval from your peers, these are all outside your control. The moment you tie your self-worth to them, you're setting yourself up for frustration and disappointment. Instead, focus on self-improvement. Develop your skills. Live by your principles. Pursue goals that matter to you. When you shift your energy to what's within your control, the need for external validation begins to fade. Here's a question for you. Do you believe it's possible to completely let go of caring about others' opinions? Why or why not? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's explore this together. Is it freedom, or is it an impossible ideal? Let's look at a practical scenario. Imagine you're presenting an idea at work, and someone interrupts with a dismissive comment. You can't control their words, but you can control how you proceed. Do you let their behavior derail you, or do you stay focused, presenting your idea with confidence and clarity? Your choice in that moment defines the outcome, not their disrespect. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity. When you stop trying to control what's outside your power, you free yourself. You free your mind from unnecessary worry, your heart from unnecessary pain, and your life from unnecessary distraction. You become lighter, stronger, and more focused. So, what's your take? If you could master this mindset, focusing only on what's within your control, how much more peace and purpose could you bring into your life? Now that we've learned to let go of what doesn't serve us, let's explore how to lead with strength and wisdom in the face of disrespect. The final method is about showing, not telling, leading by example rather than argument. Method 5. Lead by example, not argument. What's more powerful, winning an argument or showing what respect looks like? We live in a world that values clever comebacks, quick retorts, and public victories. But what if true power lies not in proving someone wrong, but in embodying the principles they fail to uphold? The Stoics taught that actions speak louder than words. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time talking about what a good man should be one." This isn't about passive acceptance or submission. It's about using your behavior as a quiet but undeniable statement of strength. When faced with disrespect, the Stoics didn't argue. They demonstrated the very respect they wished to see. Let's confront a difficult truth. Arguing with someone who disrespects you rarely changes their mind. In fact, it often strengthens their resolve, escalating the situation. But when you refuse to stoop to their level, when you meet their negativity with grace, composure, and unwavering self-respect, you not only disarm them, but also inspire those around you. Isn't that the real victory? Here's how to lead by example in the face of disrespect. 1. Stay calm. Your reaction sets the tone. By remaining composed, you show others that their words or actions don't control you. 2. Respond, don't react. If a response is necessary, make it measured and respectful. Avoid emotional outbursts. They only fuel the fire. 3. Demonstrate your values. Whether it's kindness, integrity, or patience, embody the qualities you believe in. Actions are far more persuasive than arguments. This doesn't mean letting people off the hook for bad behavior. You can set boundaries and hold others accountable without resorting to disrespect yourself. For example, in a workplace meeting, if someone dismisses your ideas, calmly reiterate your points with confidence. In a personal conflict, communicate your feelings firmly but respectfully, avoiding insults or blame. When you model respect in these moments, you teach others what respect looks like, whether they realize it or not. Here's a question. Do you think people can learn respect by observing others? Is it possible to inspire change in someone simply by leading through example, or does respect require confrontation? Let's discuss in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Imagine this scenario. A colleague publicly criticizes your work in an unprofessional way. You have two choices: retaliate with equal disrespect, or respond with calm professionalism. By choosing the latter, you not only maintain your dignity, but also send a powerful message to everyone watching. Over time, this kind of leadership by example builds respect, both for yourself and the values you uphold. The Stoics believed that leadership isn't about commanding others. It's about embodying principles so consistently and authentically that others are drawn to follow. In leading by example, you show the world what respect, strength, and self-mastery look like. Qualities that are impossible to ignore and difficult not to admire. So, here's a thought to ponder. If more people led by example rather than argument, would respect be something we see more often in our world? Can the quiet strength of action outshine the loud noise of conflict? By leading through your actions, you reclaim your power and influence without ever needing to raise your voice. It's the final step in mastering disrespect, not by defeating it, but by rising above it. Now let's bring everything we've learned together in our conclusion, where we'll reflect on the transformative power of Stoic wisdom in handling disrespect. Today, we explored 5 Stoic methods to handle disrespect: mastering emotional discipline, anchoring in inner values, viewing disrespect as a lesson, controlling what you can, and leading by example. Together, they form a powerful framework for living with dignity and strength. In a noisy world filled with judgment, remember this: your worth is not up for debate. Your power lies in how you respond, not in what they say. If this resonated with you, hit like, share this video with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more wisdom to navigate life's challenges. Let's build a community of thinkers and leaders. See you in our next video.